Hey everybody, welcome back to the Joe Rockstar channel. You know, in my limited experience, I have found that there are three major elements to riding single track competitively. There's technique, course management, and endurance. Technique consists of taking the basic riding techniques and applying them consistently. Body positioning, proper weight shift, throttle control, proper braking, etc. And course management is the ability to look ahead, read the track, adapt to the terrain conditions, and select the best lines. Endurance is conserving energy, keeping fatigue at bay, and maintaining the mental fortitude to stay focused when fatigue finally sets in. Now, all three of these elements share importance, but I must say that endurance is the most crucial element. Single track riding on a 500 is hard work, and I would bet that riders of any size bike would agree. For those who don't ride, it might appear to be easy. After all, isn't the motorcycle doing all the work? All the rider has to do is steer, right? What people may miss when making casual observations is the physical workout the rider is getting. On a single track course, there are many obstacles. There are tight turns, steep, intimidating hill climbs covered with loose rock and ruts, deep and jarring dips we call G-outs that can cause your suspension to bottom out and have your bike spring back up to kick you off like a wild mule. There's whoops, rocks, logs, roots, deep sand that threatens to grab your front wheel and send you flying over the handlebars, and many other challenges. All of them require a certain level of nerve combined with skill and know-how to conquer. Each course has its own character, its own set of challenges. And each time you ride a new course, you're facing its challenges for the first time. We ride these races with no knowledge of what is out there before we start. No knowledge of what bone-crushing obstacle might be around the next corner. The faster we go, the faster the obstacles come. The faster they come, and the faster we must react. The basic riding techniques are pivotal in giving you the best chances of managing the obstacles without crashing. Looking ahead and planning your lines increase your chances, but as we tackle many of these challenges in rapid succession, it requires us to stand up, sit down, stand up again, shift your weight, quickly shift it the other way, look out for that branch, duck, squat, stand up, weight the pegs, de-weight the pegs. Now for those of you who don't understand what weighting the pegs means, imagine you're going to jump in place. Go on, stand up, squeeze your legs together. Squat quickly as if you're going to spring yourself back up into the air, but don't jump. You're using your downward momentum to increase the downward force on the bike suspension. We do this so that the bike will spring up beneath us while we add throttle. This action forces the rear tire into the ground, increasing traction, while the addition of throttle induces the front wheel to come off the ground, producing a small wheelie that allows us to avoid slamming that front wheel into an obstacle. These body movements are constantly working our core muscles. Meanwhile, the gaps between doubt, fear, confidence, and nerve narrow, causing a momentary pause in breathing. Much of the time, you are literally holding your breath during intense focus, forgetting to breathe. It doesn't take long for a person in moderate physical conditioning to become fatigued. Now, to just drop the bike even once and have to pick it up, you're well on your way to being overwhelmed with fatigue.
Sometimes things just don't go as planned.
And here is when the endurance becomes so important. Once fatigue sets in, the other two elements start to suffer. As fatigue gets worse, technique is the first thing to go. Your elbows start to drop. Your posture goes, and you start to slouch in your stance. Your body is slower to react, and your weight shifting starts to get sloppy. The timing required to weight the pegs and get that wheel up starts to get off. Finally, you start to sit, trying to salvage what remaining energy you have. Sitting on the bike in these races is usually a bad thing. The rocks, ruts, whoops, and G-outs and various other bumps shake your insides and pummel your internal organs. And if you were squeezing those handlebars, just trying to hang on, your hands will go numb and start to cramp, sometimes to the point where squeezing the clutch and brake levers are nearly impossible. Technique is out the window, and you're aware of it. And now with your mind trying to stay positive and respond to the lack of technique, you start to lose focus on the course management element. You start to become reactive instead of proactive. You aren't looking far enough ahead anymore, and the line selection suffers. You're no longer picking the best line, you just end up taking any line, and sometimes bad lines. You start blowing turns, and this inward thinking is detrimental to your mental well-being, and the likelihood of crashing or dropping the bike is now much higher. It is at this low point in every race that we must dig deep. Here we find out what we are really made of. Now the easy thing to do is pull off the course, take a breather and drink some water. Maybe pack it in, head back to the truck like I did in round 4.
Yeah.
Pat yourself on the back for giving it a shot. I mean, why continue through the pain and torture? This is supposed to be fun, right? The other, more difficult option is to keep pushing.
Not out yet.
Finish the race and know that when it's done, you gave it everything you had. Yes, it's supposed to be fun, and it is. But like many things that are tough, there is great pride in overcoming adversity. The sense of accomplishment and boost in confidence is priceless.
Is this the end? Yeah!
You can walk away with a prize better than any trophy. The renewed understanding that pain is temporary, and these experiences can shape you forever. And don't get me wrong, the competitive side of me still wants to win. But what is more important now is finishing what I've started and continuing to work towards the ultimate goal of mastering these 3 elements. Less than 2 years out of chemotherapy and radiation, nothing has been more physically or mentally demanding on me, nor has anything been more rewarding. I recommend anybody who really wants to find out what they're made of, give racing a shot. And thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.